Commander Alex Carter stood atop the jagged ridge overlooking the swirling vortex of cosmic energy, his heart pounding in his chest, his mind haunted by recent victory and looming uncertainty. The ancient evil, Voren, had been vanquished mere hours before, yet its lingering darkness still clung to the edges of his awareness, like a phantom refusing to fade. Though he watched Voren's final dissolution into shimmering particles, he could not fully savor the triumph. He sensed that some vital cord had been severed in the process, some fundamental balance disturbed. Alex lowered his energy pistol, its muzzle still glowing with residual heat, and gazed across the cratered battlefield. Wisps of dark smoke rose from the twisted remains of Voren's minions, but all was silent now, punctuated only by the faint crackle of dissipating energy. Despite the quiet, he felt more uneasy than ever before, a strange foreboding tugging at the recesses of his mind. When he turned and made his way back to his personal spacecraft, a sleek vessel of silvery plating fitted with advanced warp engines, he couldn't escape the sensation that something vital was changing. The battle, swift and decisive, should have left him elated. Instead, his thoughts drifted to his wife, Seris Carter. She was a brilliant scientist from Velmara, a world known for its crystal spires and advanced technology. Alex had hoped to find her waiting at the landing site, arms open in a relieved embrace. Yet, as he maneuvered the craft through the dusty planet's atmosphere and set course for their family home, dread curled in the pit of his stomach. The flight back felt interminable. He soared above the rugged terrain and shimmering deserts of Velmara, eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of Seris's laboratory. At last, the distinctive silhouette of their dome-like dwelling came into view, a structure of gentle curves and glass panels. He touched down, heart hammering, and rushed through the entrance. The lights were dimmed, as though set for late evening, but the corridors were silent, unnaturally so. No soft hum of Seris's equipment, no gentle melody of her tinkering with quantum currents. The place echoed with emptiness. With trembling hands, Alex called out her name, his voice reverberating in the vacant hall. No reply came. His instincts screamed that something was wrong. He sprinted from one chamber to another. The main lab with its beakers and instruments arranged in immaculate rows. The reading lounge where Seris often lost herself in ancient star charts. And the workshop where she had once taught their daughter, Nova, how to manipulate minor energy flows. All silent. Finally, he reached their personal quarters and froze. In the dim glow of the overhead light, he saw a small device pulsing with faint luminescence on the table. Beside it lay a single piece of parchment. Odd, for Seris seldom wrote things by hand. The words trembled on the page as though infused with her urgency. My beloved Alex, I am sorry. By helping you defeat Voren, I have compromised the interdimensional chain that holds our universe together. I am part of that chain. I cannot remain here. Forgive me and protect our child. He felt the blood drain from his face. His chest constricted, breath coming in shallow bursts. What did she mean by cannot remain? Where was she? Half stumbling, half running, he found himself at the door of Nova's bedroom. Inside, he discovered their daughter, just 7 years old, yet strangely wise, with dark hair braided in slender plaits, sitting on the floor, her eyes glazed with tears. He kneeled at her side, pulling her into a tight embrace. She's gone, Father, Nova whispered, voice trembling. I can feel her, but she isn't here. She's in the spaces between worlds. Something is broken, and only she can mend it. Alex's heart pounded. Though he struggled to comprehend, he knew Nova's words bore the ring of truth. Seris was deeply involved in secrets he had barely glimpsed, matters of cosmic import. The war against Voren had demanded Seris's knowledge of the mystical and scientific realms. He recalled how her eyes would sometimes brim with starlight, how she spoke of hidden dimensions like they were old friends. She must have known this possibility all along. The notion that her disappearance was the cost of Voren's destruction left him reeling. Struggling to remain calm for Nova's sake, Alex gently asked, "Did she leave any message for you? Something more than these words on paper?" Nova nodded, her small face solemn. "She told me in a dream, right after Voren's defeat. She said that the chain that keeps reality in harmony was shattered. She is a part of it, so she had to leave this world to help repair it. But the chain is scattered across existence now, and we're all in danger unless it's restored." He swallowed hard. All right, then we find a way to bring her back, or at least help her. You and I together. Nova clung to him. For a moment, they both drew strength from each other's presence in the silent room. Suddenly, a distant rumble echoed from the sky. A pang of alarm tore through Alex's chest. Velmara's military might be paying him a visit. He had received word earlier that the High Council was wary of Nova's emerging talents. They feared her connection to realms beyond their understanding and the potential hazards it might unleash. He rose to his feet, lips set in a determined line. We need to leave, he murmured. Nova's eyes widened, but she only nodded. Together, they gathered a few essential belongings, along with Seris's notes and apparatus that could prove useful. Then, hand in hand, they raced to the small hangar adjoining their home, where a sleek, personal vessel, somewhat less grand than Alex's interstellar craft, awaited. Before the departure, Alex cast one last, longing look at the empty corridors. Here and there, holographic frames displayed images of Seris standing beside him under Velmara's brilliant sun, Nova giggling between them. He had never felt so alone, nor so determined. With the press of a button, the hangar doors slid open. The sky blazed orange and pink in the early evening glow, but a menacing outline of military dropships hovered on the horizon. Alex guided the ship upward, weaving through the spires of glass that dominated Velmara's architecture, hoping to lose any pursuers in the labyrinth of shining structures. He had no intention of letting the authorities separate him from his daughter, not when they needed each other the most. As the craft soared higher, alarms shrieked from the control panels. He spotted two Velmaran fighter jets closing in. A voice crackled through the comm channel, cold and demanding. Commander Carter, you are ordered to surrender your vessel and yield custody of the child. We have reason to believe her abilities pose a threat to planetary security. Alex clenched his jaw. He briefly flicked the switch to respond, voice taut. Nova is my daughter. I will not surrender her. This is your only warning. Stand down. He cut off the transmission, accelerating sharply. The fighters gave chase. Nova clutched the armrests, her face a mix of fear and resolve. A wave of sorrow filled Alex's heart, but he shoved it aside, focusing on maneuvering. He spun the vessel into a narrow sideway, twisting between the glass towers. The hum of the engines reverberated through the craft's hull, the velocity pressing them into their seats. A laser blast streaked past the cockpit, illuminating Nova's terrified eyes. Another volley struck a nearby tower, sending shards of glass-like material spiraling down. Alex's mind raced. His best bet was to escape Velmara's atmosphere and outrun the pursuit in the cosmic highways. Only then could he plan his next moves toward finding Seris. He angled the ship sharply upward, pushing through the lower atmosphere. The console flared with warnings of incoming missiles. Hang on, he shouted. Nova squeezed her eyes shut. He deployed countermeasures, and the projectiles careened off course, exploding in a brilliant display far behind them. Breaching the planet's exosphere, they felt the sudden stillness of space. The black velvet emptiness yawned before them, speckled with innumerable stars. The sensors beeped frantically. The Velmaran fighters were still in pursuit, but Alex felt a surge of relief. Out here, he could engage the ship's warp drive. Within moments, a swirling corridor of blue and violet light enveloped them, catapulting them across cosmic distances in a heartbeat. When the warp ended, Alex took a breath, scanning the instruments. According to readouts, they were near the Prism Veil Nebula, a region infamous for its unstable electromagnetic fields and swirling pockets of cosmic dust. It was also rumored to be a hiding place for renegades, mages, and seekers of forbidden knowledge. If anyone could guide them on an interdimensional matter, it was rumored to be found among the ragtag enclaves orbiting the nebula's edges. As if sensing his thoughts, Nova spoke, voice soft. Mother told me in a vision that we should search for a woman named Lyra, someone who can harness star-like energy. I think she can help us. Alex nodded, relief mixing with curiosity. Then that's our next step, Nova. We'll find Lyra and figure out how to fix this chain and bring your mother back. Their journey through the fringes of the Prism Veil Nebula was fraught with obstacles. Brilliant storms of cosmic dust streaked in kaleidoscopic hues, occasionally buffeting the ship and threatening to knock it off course. Strange pockets of twisted gravity pulled them toward flickering anomalies. Despite the formidable dangers, Alex navigated with the skill of a seasoned pilot. For days, they drifted from one fringe outpost to another, chasing rumors of a woman with star-like markings, known among shady travelers and cosmic wanderers for her deep knowledge of astral energies. Every so often, Nova would awaken from fitful sleep, whispering that she could sense her mother. The presence was faint but comforting, a reminder that Seris was out there somewhere, bound to the shattered chain, waiting for them. As the father-daughter pair pressed on, they gleaned tidbits of information from unscrupulous merchants, half-crazed prophets, and exiled mystics. The name Lyra indeed stirred many tongues. Some believed she was an ascendant being. Others claimed she was a mere myth conjured by star-obsessed cultists. Yet consistently, they heard hints that Lyra had last been seen near the heart of the nebula, a place few dared to venture. On the 8th day of their search, the battered ship settled on a small, uncharted moon dancing at the nebula's edge. The moon was desolate, a swirling miasma of swirling dust and glowing crystals. Nova tugged on Alex's sleeve, pointing to a narrow canyon below. He guided the ship down, landing among jagged cliffs that radiated faint luminescence. They disembarked, clambering over crumbling ledges, guided by Nova's intuition. A strange hush lay over the canyon, broken only by the crackle of energy resonating in the stony walls. Then they saw her, a lone figure cloaked in shimmering cloth, standing amidst a cluster of geodes that pulsed with internal light. Though the hood obscured her face, Alex noticed an odd glow from beneath. Nova tugged at his side, breath catching in her throat. "Lyra," Alex called, voice echoing. "We seek your help." The figure turned slowly. The faint starlight revealed a young woman, her features regal and ageless. Across her forehead and along her arms, intricate markings glimmered like tiny galaxies. She gazed at them for a silent moment, then her voice emerged, gentle as a whisper. "I have been waiting for you, Alex Carter, and you, Nova. Your mother's essence guided me." A shiver ran down Alex's spine. How did she know them so well? Yet he sensed no hostility, merely a serene power. Nova took a hesitant step forward. "You know Mother? Can you help us fix what's broken?" Lyra inclined her head. "Seris is a kindred soul. She understood the cosmic tapestry long before you did, Commander. And now, the chain that binds all dimensions is shattered. Voren's defeat, while necessary, has left a rift." Alex tried to keep his voice steady. "Then you know how we can repair it?" She turned her ethereal gaze upon him, starlight shimmering in her eyes. "The chain cannot be mended by mortal hands alone. That is why Seris joined it, willingly sacrificing her earthly form. But her sacrifice alone is not enough. The chain must be reforged by one who bears the mark of cosmic energy, who stands at the nexus between the mortal realm and the infinite." Confusion warred with hope in Alex's chest. And who would that be? A gentle smile tugged at Lyra's lips. She lifted a slender hand, letting cosmic light swirl around her fingertips. "Commander, have you never questioned why you alone succeeded where countless warriors failed? Voren was beyond mortal comprehension, yet you, though wounded, triumphed. There is more to your heritage than meets the eye." Memories flooded Alex's mind. He recalled how the final blow against Voren had felt strangely effortless, as though a wellspring of power surged within him, unleashed in that pivotal moment. He had assumed it was adrenaline, fueled by desperate love for Seris and Nova. But what if it was something else? "I never questioned it," he admitted, voice trembling. "But if I'm not entirely human?" "Your father was from a race we call the Ellis," Lyra explained, stepping closer. "They dwell beyond the boundary of mortal dimensions, guardians of cosmic order. Your mother was mortal, which made you a rare hybrid. Seris discovered this. She fell in love with you regardless, knowing you might one day be the key to saving reality itself." Nova's eyes darted from Lyra to her father, both curiosity and wonder lighting her young features. A swirl of pride and apprehension churned in Alex's gut. He swallowed thickly. "Then what must I do?" Lyra motioned for them to follow. They stepped deeper into the canyon, the mineral walls glowing with increasing intensity. Eventually, the pathway opened onto a circular clearing. At its center stood a massive stone arch, etched with cryptic runes. Energy crackled around it like tiny lightning forks. The sight filled Alex with reverent awe. "This is the Veil Gate," Lyra said, voice echoing softly. A portal that leads to the interstitial realm where fragments of the cosmic chain lie scattered. Only one of Ella's blood can pass safely, forging a link between that realm and ours. Your presence, combined with your daughter's awakened potential, may gather the shards of the chain. Fear creased Alex's brow. And what about Seris? Is she trapped there? Lyra's gaze softened. She is part of the chain now, her essence woven into its tapestry. Should you succeed, you will free her, allowing her to return. But beware, the path is treacherous. The chain was shattered by Voren's violent energies, leaving behind pockets of corruption. You must be prepared for what you may face. Nova reached for Alex's hand. I'm ready, she said in a trembling but firm voice. He nodded, heart pounding. So am I. Lyra gestured toward the arch, her markings flaring as she channeled power. The runes glowed bright, a swirling vortex opening within the stone. The air pulsed, charged with a force older than time. Alex and Nova exchanged a final, resolute glance, then stepped forward. The portal enveloped them in blinding radiance. They emerged into a realm that defied normal comprehension. A vast sky shimmered with colors impossible to name, and gravity seemed to shift with each breath. Glistening pathways arced across the horizon, fracturing into countless directions. Fragments of a shimmering chain floated everywhere, each link pulsing with a faint heartbeat of cosmic energy. Some links appeared pristine, while others glowed with a sickly red hue, corruption fuming from their surfaces. Nova gasped. Do you feel that, Father? It's like all of creation is crying out. Indeed, Alex felt it. A distant, agonized hum reverberated through his bones, the cosmic chain's broken voice lamenting its fragmentation. He heard echoes, saw flickers, faint silhouettes in the swirling haze, possibly other realities brushing up against their own. With trembling resolve, he guided Nova forward, toward the nearest cluster of chain fragments. As they approached, a shadow coalesced ahead, swirling with a dark energy reminiscent of Voren. A flicker of panic shot through Alex, but he steadied himself, recalling Lyra's words. As a child of Ella's lineage, he possessed a power that even he did not fully understand. He flexed his hands, focusing on the faint flicker he had felt during the final confrontation with Voren. Slowly, a soft halo of silver light enveloped his arms. Nova watched wide-eyed. The shadow lunged, tendrils of corrupted energy lashing out. Alex thrust his palm forward. A radiant beam flared from his hand, colliding with the darkness. Their powers clashed, cosmic light against corrupted malevolence. With an anguished shriek, the shadow dissolved, leaving behind a bundle of glimmering chain links. Nova stepped closer, eyes shining, as she carefully touched the fragments. In a soft whirl of luminescence, the pristine links floated around them, as though drawn by an invisible gravity. One by one, they advanced through this surreal domain, confronting pockets of corruption. Each victory brought them more fragments, some untainted, others requiring purification. At times, Nova used her own fledgling abilities to calm the energies, guided by an instinct she seemed to possess from birth. Whenever she placed her hand upon the chain, a gentle glow spread, mending cracks and washing away the stains of Voren's darkness. Hours, or perhaps days, passed in this timeless realm. The concept of linear time grew distant, replaced by cyclical flows of cosmic rhythm. Alex felt his strength waning, yet an inner reservoir of cosmic power, tied to his Ellis heritage, enabled him to persevere. Every step forward, every purified fragment, resonated with a sense of accomplishment and a longing for Seris. Finally, as they gathered the last cluster of links, a brilliant light flared ahead, forming the faint outline of a human figure. Alex's heart soared. He recognized the grace of that stance, the tilt of that head, the curve of those shoulders. It was Seris, or rather, her essence. She seemed ethereal, her body transparent, woven from threads of starlight. Nova let out a joyful cry, running forward with arms outstretched. "Mother, you're here." Seris's voice echoed softly, like a gentle breeze. "My beautiful child. Alex, my love, you have done the impossible. You have brought the shards together." Alex could scarcely speak past the lump in his throat. He reached for her hand, though it felt as intangible as mist. "Seris, We're so close. How do we finish this? Her eyes, shimmering pools of galaxies, turned upon him. Reforge the chain with the power of your Ellis blood. Let Nova guide you. Then we will become one once more, free of these bonds, free to return. Emotions clashed within him, love, fear, hope. With trembling resolve, Alex gathered the floating chain links. Nova pressed close, her smaller hands covering his. Together, father and daughter focused on the swirling fragments, channeling the cosmic energy that flowed through their veins. A silent, swelling hum built in the air. One by one, the chain segments clicked into place, the cosmic essence knitting them together in a tapestry of stars. A surge of warmth and light blazed around them, culminating in a brilliant corona that illuminated the entire interstitial realm. Then, like a tide ebbing, the glow receded. Before them now was the fully restored chain, coiled gracefully, exuding harmonious energy. Seris's figure, still shimmering, drifted closer. She laid her ephemeral hands on the chain, and a soft glow passed between them. A tear slipped down Alex's cheek. "Can you come back with us?" he asked, voice quivering. Seris nodded gently, though sorrow mingled with her smile. "Part of me will remain forever bound to the cosmic tapestry. But yes, we shall be a family again. Perhaps not in the same way as before, but we will be together. Love transcends boundaries far greater than these." Nova wept tears of joy. "Hurry, mother, come with us." Seris extended her luminous arms toward them, and a gentle wind spiraled around the chain. In a flash of brilliance, the interstitial realm dissolved. They found themselves back on the desolate moon, the canyon walls faintly glowing around them. Lyra stood nearby, her star markings radiant. The stone arch behind them flickered out, returning to its dormant state. Nova rubbed her eyes, adjusting to the dimmer light. Alex turned to see Seris, not entirely flesh, not entirely spirit, but a graceful presence with a translucent form. He rushed to her side, tears streaking his face. Nova joined the embrace, and the three stood there, hearts bound in a love that transcended worlds. Lyra's voice broke the hush, tinged with awe. "You have succeeded. The chain is restored." A shift in the atmosphere signaled a new threat. Overhead, the roar of engines reverberated through the canyon. Alex's heart clenched. Velmara's military had tracked them, seeking to capture Nova or, worse, harness their cosmic power. Dropships swarmed the sky, floodlights pinning them in beams of harsh illumination. At the forefront was a massive cruiser, bristling with cannons. Over the loudspeakers, a cold command blared: "Surrender immediately, or be annihilated." Lyra raised a hand, starlight swirling around her. Seris, too, seemed to glimmer with renewed strength. But Alex stepped forward, lifting his chin. He felt the cosmic presence awaken in his chest once again. "No," he said softly. "We will not surrender. We will show them we mean no harm, but we will not be taken." He looked to Nova, who nodded, her eyes determined. Seris and Lyra exchanged a glance. Then, from all around the canyon, a gentle cosmic melody arose, like chimes in the wind, resonant with the freshly mended chain. The chain's energy radiated outward, permeating the air, a wave of peace and awe. The Velmaran soldiers, presumably hardened veterans, wavered in their assault. Some lowered their weapons, while others gaped in wonder. A hush swept through their ranks, an unspoken understanding that they were witnessing something far beyond the ordinary. The cruiser's cannons fell silent, the brilliant floodlights dimming as though overshadowed by a more profound illumination. Seeing the reaction, Alex extended his arms, calling upon his Ellis heritage. Threads of silver light wove themselves around him, forming a protective aura that spread to encompass Seris, Nova, and Lyra. The luminous veil pulsed, sending a signal of calm across the battlefield. The dropships, uncertain, drew back, engines humming in hesitation. Nova took a step forward, her voice clear and melodic. "We don't want to hurt anyone, but we cannot be caged." A hush answered her. Then an amplified voice crackled over the comms. "Commander Carter, are you even human?" Alex paused, casting a glance at Seris and Nova. A part of him longed to cling to the identity he had always known, but truth had guided him this far. "I am Alex Carter," he said, words resonating with cosmic authority. "Once a commander of Velmara, always a man who loves his family, and yes, of Ellis blood. But that does not make me your enemy. A wave of uncertain murmuring spread among the soldiers. Finally, a woman's voice came across the calm, sharper but tinged with reluctant respect. The High Council demands we ensure that the powers you wield are not a threat to the galaxy. Our orders are to detain you. For an agonizing moment, the tension in the air was palpable. Then Lyra stepped forth, her star markings radiant. She looked skyward, her voice resounding with quiet authority. You sense the chain's energy, do you not? That harmonious hum that warms your hearts, that soothes your fears? This child, Nova, and her father do not threaten you. They safeguard all that is real. The child is special, but she will not destroy you unless you provoke the cosmic forces themselves. Silence followed. Through the swirling dust, they could see the imposing outline of the cruiser. A moment passed, then another, until at last the dropships pivoted in retreat. Their engines roared one last time as they ascended, forming up in the distance. Whatever debate took place among the High Council, they seemed to grasp that any direct conflict was now both futile and dangerous. Alex exhaled, relief washing through him. Nova clutched his hand. Seris, still luminous, offered a serene smile, and Lyra lowered her eyes as though in prayer. Overhead, the skies cleared, revealing a starfield that glimmered with renewed brilliance. In the quiet that followed, Alex faced Lyra. What happens now? Are we bound to remain here? Seris, can you stay? Seris lifted a translucent hand, resting it gently against his cheek. Though his skin tingled at her ethereal touch, he felt warmth and comfort. I am partially anchored in the cosmic realms, she said softly. Yet you have helped me reclaim enough of my essence to remain by your side in a new form. Our family bond is strong, stronger than any dimensional barrier. Nova's eyes shone, and she threw her arms around Seris, feeling a gentle but real embrace in return. Lyra observed them with a fond smile. I must depart soon. The chain resonates across the cosmos, and there are others who may need my guidance. But remember, the guardianship of reality lies also with you, Alex Carter. The Ellis bloodline stands watch, ensuring that no further abominations like Voren will rupture the cosmos. Alex inclined his head respectfully. Thank you, Lyra. We owe you everything. She merely nodded, stepping back. Her star-like markings flared into one last, dazzling display, and then she was gone, a whisper of light drifting into the sky. The canyon fell silent, the hush broken only by the gentle shifting of cosmic dust in the breeze. In the days that followed, Alex, Nova, and Seris worked tirelessly to ease tensions with Velmara's authorities. Seris, though half in spirit, offered her scientific expertise. She explained the chain and the events leading to its shattering. She demonstrated, through peaceful demonstrations of cosmic energy, that neither she nor Nova posed a threat. Rather, they served as guardians of equilibrium. Gradually, the High Council backed away from hostility, allowing them room to move freely. Yet word spread throughout the galaxy of the family of light, a father touched by Ellis heritage, a mother bound to cosmic powers, and a daughter gifted with extraordinary abilities. Some saw them as saviors, others as potential harbingers of doom. In hushed circles of mages, in the war rooms of distant star empires, and in the prayers of countless worlds seeking hope, the Carters became a legend. In time, Alex realized that part of his destiny was to journey beyond known regions, alongside Seris and Nova, to ensure the chain remained intact. Seris's partial existence in the cosmic tapestry allowed her to detect subtle tremors of imbalance, while Nova's fledgling powers continued to blossom, enabling her to interact with realms beyond mortal sight. Their home on Velmara became a sanctuary, a place to rest between voyages. But they did not stay confined for long. One evening, as they prepared to depart for another expedition to quell a dimensional anomaly, a gentle starlight glowed in the sky above them. Seris's form shimmered in the warm breeze, her eyes reflecting infinite galaxies. Alex kissed her cheek, a gesture that sent ripples through her half-ethereal body. It's time, he asked softly. She nodded. We sense a fracture near the Helios rift. We must go. Nova, wearing a small pack of instruments Seris had designed, gave a determined nod. We'll fix it together. Alex smiled, heart brimming with love. Then let's do what we do best, Carter family style. They boarded a newly modified vessel, a swift star runner equipped with advanced quantum nodes that harmonized with the cosmic chain. As they ascended through Velmara's sky, the watchers on the ground murmured awe and respect. The ship pierced the atmosphere, starlight enveloping its sleek hull, leaving a trail of silvery luminescence in its wake. Beyond the boundaries of known space, the Carter family soared to realms seldom glimpsed by mortal eyes. Whenever a rift threatened to unravel a pocket of reality, Seris guided them. Nova provided the healing energy, and Alex stood guard, channeling the dormant Ellis power that now felt as natural as breathing. As father, mother, and child, they formed an unbreakable bond. Their synergy resonated through the cosmic chain, each act of mending forging new links of love and understanding. In the vast tapestry of the universe, new legends were born, tales of a family dancing among the stars, lighting up the void with compassion and bravery. Across countless worlds, travelers recounted sightings of three radiant figures stepping out of shimmering portals, banishing corruption, and leaving galaxies more stable in their wake. In the hush of night, children would gaze up at the sky, imagining they glimpsed the Carter family's ship streaking across the firmament. Despite this grand cosmic responsibility, they shared tender, everyday moments. Seris, intangible though she was, would help Nova with her lessons in quantum geometry. Alex would teach Nova to pilot the Star Runner, albeit nervously, while Seris fondly teased him about his protective streak. They forged new memories in the interplay of light and shadow that defined their journeys. When exhaustion weighed heavy, they would find a lonely asteroid or a secluded planet's moon, rest a while under the swirling galaxies, sharing stories and jokes that bridged both mortal and cosmic realms. Eventually, the name Voren faded into dim recollection, a vanquished evil overshadowed by the new dawn of unity. Other threats emerged, of course, renegade warlords who delved into forbidden energies, cosmic anomalies that threatened to tear dimensional fabrics asunder. But with each challenge, the Carters stood firm. The chain they guarded had been born again in adversity, tempered by their love and sacrifice, and it responded to them with a resilient glow that overcame every darkness. Back on Velmara, the High Council, once so fearful, gradually opened avenues of diplomatic exchange. They reached out to neighboring systems, forging alliances in the hope of better understanding these cosmic forces. The planet's glass spires became beacons of learning, welcoming pilgrims, scholars, and mystics who wished to study the deeper mysteries. In time, a new generation of Velmarans grew up hearing stories of Commander Alex Carter, his extraordinary wife Seris, and their gifted daughter Nova. Rather than dread, they felt inspiration, a longing to explore the higher realms in partnership with the chain's caretakers. Some evenings, upon returning from particularly difficult missions, Alex would wander with Nova through the quiet halls of their old home. They would pause before the holographic frames, cherishing the captured moments of a simpler time. Now, those glimpses carried a resonant significance, reminding them that no matter how vast the cosmos, their family bond remained the cornerstone of everything they did. Seris, often manifesting with a soft glow, would join them, merging her light gently with the ambience of the corridors. And in those moments, they were no longer cosmic guardians or fabled adventurers. They were simply a father, a mother, and a child, embracing the ordinary blessings of a life woven with extraordinary threads. So it was that they continued, forging their path through the stars, bridging gaps between worlds, teaching by example that love and sacrifice could mend even the most grievous wounds. Over time, they came to understand that real strength sprang not from fear of the unknown, but from the willingness to face it together. One day, Nova, by then older, her powers more refined, approached Alex on the observation deck of their Star Runner. Through the panoramic window, a cluster of newly formed stars glimmered in the silent void. "Father," she said softly, "Mother tells me there's a place at the far edge of the cosmos, beyond even the Helios rift, where the chain resonates in a most ancient chord. Few have ever seen it, but we might find deeper truths there. About the Ellis, about our family, about me." Alex turned, gazed thoughtful. He had touched that threshold once in battle, in fleeting visions. But he too yearned for clarity regarding the hidden realms that Seris and Lyra had spoken of. "Then we shall go, all of us," he replied, resting a gentle hand on her shoulder. A soft presence manifested beside them, Seris, glowing faintly. She smiled, that familiar, loving expression. "Our journey continues," she whispered. "It never truly ends." Nova's eyes sparkled, a reflection of the starlight outside. "Yes, Mother." Together, the three gazed at the cosmic panorama, hearts brimming with expectation. The chain was whole, yet the cosmos teemed with infinite mysteries, some benevolent, some perilous. But they had each other, a bond tempered by battles fought and sacrifices made. And that was enough to face whatever the next horizon held. Word of the Carter family's renewed expedition spread, carried by whispering star winds and advanced communication relays alike. On Velmara, a small gathering of friends, admirers, and even former skeptics held a quiet vigil in the shimmering crystal plaza. They knew the Carters traveled beyond mortal ken, ensuring balance, forging unity. In that silent vigil, a sense of hope and gratitude pervaded the watchers, each heart quietly wishing safe passage for the family who had once been their own neighbors. As the Star Runner's engines hummed in readiness, Nova took the pilot's seat, carefully aligning coordinates gleaned from Seris's cosmic senses. Alex strapped himself in beside her, verifying the ship's instruments. Seris stood behind them, a graceful silhouette of luminescent presence, connected to everything that was and might be. The countdown began. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With a collective sense of excitement, they engaged the warp, star-smeared lines swirling into a dazzling corridor of light. Thus, the Carters vanished from immediate sight, stepping once more into the grand tapestry of worlds. And though the path was uncharted, though they journeyed to realms only whispered of in the oldest cosmic legends, they did so with unwavering courage. For theirs was a voyage sparked by love, a love proven stronger than evil, stronger than fear, stronger even than the boundaries of life and death. In distant eons, storytellers would recount the saga of the family who mended the cosmic chain. They would speak of Commander Alex Carter, who discovered he was more than mortal, of Seris, a brilliant scientist who gave her life to save reality, yet found a way to return through the power of devotion, and of Nova, the child of light, whose tender heart harnessed energies profound enough to heal entire dimensions. Their tale transcended facts, blossoming into myth. But at its core remained a shining truth. In the darkest void, love could kindle a spark capable of reviving hope. And so, under the watchful tapestry of stars, the Carter family pressed ever onward. Each new day brought fresh challenges, each triumph a deeper appreciation of the cosmos' fragile balance. Seris's presence stabilized the chain. Nova's gifts expanded new horizons of harmony. Alex's Ellis heritage protected them all, wielding cosmic forces with renewed wisdom. At last, in the swirling light of a newly formed galaxy, they found a moment's quiet. The Star Runner hovered near a nebula blooming in brilliant arcs of color, matter coalescing into new suns. The hush of creation enveloped them. Alex looked to his wife, his daughter. A warm glow suffused his heart. "We're still here," he murmured, voice thick with gratitude. And together, Seris reached out, and though her fingers were half luminous, half tangible, he felt their warmth. Nova slipped her hand between theirs, completing the circle. For an instant, cosmic distances and the weight of time melted away, leaving only the profound bond of a family determined to defend life's most delicate wonders. Outside the window, stardust danced in arcs of light, as though celebrating this unity. The watchers in hidden dimensions, the guardians of old, the newly awakened star systems, perhaps all glimpsed the Carter family and recognized the promise they carried, that no matter how terrifying the shadows, the blaze of love and sacrifice could burn brighter still. So their story did not truly end, but continued in unbroken arcs of hope. They would meet new challenges, new forms of darkness, new alliances, and new revelations. Through it all, their unity would remain. And so they pressed on, forging a path where cosmic guardianship intertwined seamlessly with the simple, profound love of a mother, a father, and their child. In the annals of countless worlds, in the hush of dreamers who gazed upon distant skies, the final note of their recorded tale rang out, a soft yet triumphant chord. The Carters, bound by unshakable devotion, journeyed into the unknown, protecting the radiant tapestry of existence. And always, at the end of each quest, they found reason to smile, because love, raw, enduring, victorious, illuminated even the darkest corridors of space. Thus ends the story with hope and joy, as the family, against all odds, remained whole. Their hearts entwined, they walked the path of cosmic guardians, ensuring that the vibrant interplay of stars and worlds would continue to flourish. Even the faintest spark of faith could blossom into boundless light, so long as courage and love guided the way. And that, more than anything, was the legacy they offered to the universe, a promise that love could transcend the boundaries of dimension, time, and mortal form, forever safeguarding creation itself.